How's it going? My name's Savian Sills. I'm the creator of foreign policy and you. I hear you want to be a prime minister. Well, slow down there, buddy. Just wait a second. You don't even know how to handle foreign policy. Okay, just don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Guess what? Got a 16-step plan. It's real simple to follow. You just follow these steps. You're gonna be talking to other countries like it's not even a thing. Because guess what? It's best steps. Alright, so the first thing on my list is diplomacy. Now don't get me started on how important it is, because you need diplomacy in your country and other countries. Alright? Here's how I like to do it. I like to take a couple diplomats, you know, send them on a plane over to wherever, Russia, China, it doesn't matter. You get them over there, you start talking to people, you get a good little relationship going, you know? You talk about economics, you talk about politics. It's just a good way of getting a good relationship with another country, because you gotta talk about it. That's all diplomacy is, it's just talking. It's just talking. And you gotta talk. Alright, so the next step on my list is propaganda. Now you don't want too much propaganda, you know, it makes you start to look a little cocky. Because what it is, you basically make yourself seem a lot better than you are. Okay? You get some glorified images, you tell the little kiddies in school that you're the best, even when you're not. Alright? You start portraying this image of, oh, the great prime minister, whatever, and people believe it because they don't know any better. They see everybody thinking you're the greatest, so they think you're the greatest. Even the other countries, and this is where the foreign policy comes in, the other countries are looking here, they're seeing the propaganda, they say, oh, wow, they all love him so much, he must be so great. Well, of course they think you're great because you got propaganda everywhere. Alright, next up on the list is trade. Now, trade is a great thing. You know, you're getting a little bit of extra moolah, and you're also developing relationships, which is great, okay? So let me give you an example here, alright? Here in Canada, we have a little thing called NAFTA. You ever heard of it? Yeah. Well, basically, we're trading with the US and the Mexico because, you know what? We don't have everything in Canada, alright? I'm sorry to tell you, alright? It snows here. We don't get the fruits, so we gotta say, hey guys, you got any fruits? To say, oh yeah, you got any oil? And we say, heck yeah we do, okay? Now we're trading, now we're doing business, you know, getting the money, getting the relationships. It's a good deal. I don't see why you wouldn't want to do that. Alright, so the next thing, okay, relating to trade, it's tariffs and quotas. Now, I know I just said that Canada doesn't have everything, but guess what? We have some stuff. And sometimes we want to be spending money on our own stuff because, come on, let's support ourselves. Let's support ourselves. That's all I have to say, okay? So basically, put a tariff on a product that's coming in, and people are saying, hey, why are we paying for this when we can just make it here? So it promotes the domestic industry. And then you got a quota, right? And that's just the limit for how much we want, because sometimes, oh, man, we're getting pelted with things from China. Just slow down for a second here. Too much. Let's put a quota on it. You know, box it in. Box it. We don't need that much. Just put a limit on it. Alright, the next thing on my list is loans. Now, loans, you usually think loans are pretty bad because people don't pay them back, and well, okay, let me just give you an example of what a loan is. Alright, let's say that we're up here in Canada, you know, we're trading with the United States of America. They got some economic problems down there. I don't know what they're doing down there, but whatever, you know? Live and let live. So basically, they're running out of money, and they say, you know what, guys? We can't pay for the lumber this time. You want to do us a solid, you know, just send it down here. Okay, we'll pay you back. We'll pay. Just give us a couple months. We'll pay you back. And you know what? Just to make up for that, we're gonna give you a sweet deal on the tariffs. Because, you know, you're doing us a solid. It's the least we can do. Just, come on, give us the lumber. What are you doing? Come on, give us the lumber. Now let's talk about foreign aid for a second. Now foreign aid is when you help out a country that needs some help, huh? That's pretty crazy thinking. But let me just give you an example. Okay, so let's say that Japan has a tsunami. Now what are you gonna do? You're just gonna let them have their houses destroyed and just sit there crying their little eyes out because they got destroyed? No, you're gonna help them, alright? Send over some medics to help the wounded, you know, send over some money to help them rebuild. That's what foreign aid is. You gotta do that because, guess what? Doing good deeds is good, getting good reputation is better. Let's talk about boycotts for a minute, alright? Now, a boycott is when you decide, or even a group of your buddy countries decide that you're done buying a product because it is just terrible. Okay? Let me give you an example, okay? Let's say that over in Indonesia, they're making kitten hats. I love myself a little cute kitten. I don't want a kitten to get killed just for a hat. So I say, you know what? I don't want your freaking kitten hats, okay? And neither do these guys. It shows them that you ain't putting up with the kitten abuse, and you want it to stop. And guess what? If you're not buying them, who's gonna buy them? That's a good way of stopping bad thinking. Okay, so let's say that you and another country aren't getting along. Instead of just going in there and killing everybody, you can use a little something like to call economic warfare. Now, economic warfare is basically when you destroy another country's economy. So let's say that somebody gets hit by an earthquake, okay? They're dying over there, their buildings are destroyed and they need some help. Well, guess what? You don't give them any money because you don't really like them that much, and they get kind of ruffled. All right. Another example is, let's say that a guy named Napoleon, he doesn't like the British. Okay, the British are shipping goods into Europe, and he says, hey, guess what? You're not allowed in here. Okay, I'm gonna set up some ships around here. Stop it. We don't want your stuff, and you're not getting our money. The next thing we're talking about is cultural relations. Now, they are kind of like diplomacy in the fact that you're talking things out. But now you're talking about your culture, okay? We got these things called foreign exchange programs. You ever heard of them? It's when you send a student over to Japan or whatever, and then they come over here, and you're getting some pieces of the culture. You're learning about how things go over in other parts of the world. It's good to know. You know, you need to know about other cultures, because guess what? We're not just isolated over here anymore, okay? It's called globalization. You ever heard of it? You probably haven't heard of a lot of things since I keep asking you. So the next thing is called Clandestine? Okay, basically it's just a fancy word for spying. Okay, you just send people over to whatever country you want to know about, okay? And they're hiding in there, okay, acting like, ooh, yeah, I'm definitely part of this country, don't mind me, okay? Now I'm just gonna slide over into the documents of this country and find out about its political and economic ideas. It's really sneaky, okay? But guess what? It works, because people aren't knowing that you're sneaking up on them, okay? You can catch them by surprise and get some really valuable information. How does that sound to you? Real good, right? The next thing is military intervention, okay? I like to give this one the nickname Extreme Foreign Aid. So basically what this is when the money ain't working and the health ain't working, okay, just go in there and shoot the problem. For example, we got a dictator over here in Libya, okay? He's being real mean to the rebels who just want to have some equality, okay? We know that this guy is not having the right idea about a good society, okay? He's just being a dictator. So we get in there, we fight his government agents, because you know what? They're bad people. We need to fight them back, okay? Kill the dictators. Just kill them. Problem solved. The next thing is war. Alright, you've heard of war, right? War happens all the time. It's when we send in some troops to another country to fight them because we had some issues with them, and then they said, hey, why don't you come and say that to my face? And guess what we did? We said it with our guns. Okay, we said it with our bombs. We're just gonna shoot up every single problem we have in another country because that's the only way of solving it. Well, that's what America seems to think, huh? Hey, remember Hiroshima? The next thing is negotiation, alright? Now this is like the opposite of war, okay? So somebody says, hey, why don't you say that to my face? And you do with your words this time, okay? You go over there and you say, hey, I'm sorry about the whole thing with the bomb. Why can't we just be friends now? And they say, yeah, sure. Why not? Alright, we're negotiating right now. And I negotiate that we should be friends. That's it, that's all it is. It's diplomacy when things get out of hand. When things get out of hand, use diplomacy and negotiate. Something you might want to use to prevent the wars is to make it a treaty or an alliance. Of course, right? A treaty or an alliance is just basically when you got a truce with somebody. So, let's say we have America down there, right? And we know that they're kind of mean sometimes and they got a lot of nukes and whatever, so we say, hey guys, we're neighbors, right? We should be pals, okay? Let's just have a treaty, right? And if anybody comes at you, we're gonna help you. If anybody comes at us, you guys help us. And we'll never attack each other because we got a truce, right? That sounds like a pretty good deal to me. So next up is collective security. So now, this is a big old treaty with a bunch of people saying, hey, war is bad. Let's just stop everybody who wants to be mean to people. So we got a nice group of collective securians, I like to call them, and they go up to a country that's being rude and they say, hey, you want to come down a little bit? Why don't we use diplomacy over here? That's all it is. That's collective security. You got the collective and then trying to be secure by not fighting each other. Easy. Easy to remember. Okay, very much last and very much not least on the list is international law. Alright? So, basically what this is we got a bunch of sovereign states in the world, and they all have laws that apply to each other. It's basically like the global law. Alright? You gotta follow the rules of the law like you would in your own country when it comes to international law. Like, why would you need that? Well, let's say that we have our space equipment flying up there. We don't want to get shot down, but, well, there's no law against that, right? So we can just do it. Wrong. International law. It's important. Alright? So, there you go. We're done. Wasn't that easy? Okay, simple. Now you got all these ideas in your head. You're gonna be the best Prime Minister ever. I'm so excited for you. Okay, hey, when you're Prime Minister, remember who got you there. It's me, baby. You know, just, hey, send some money my way, huh? Maybe get me a good position in the law. Alright, I'm tired of making instructional videos for you guys. Okay? You guys don't even know foreign policy? Why can't I be Prime Minister? I'll be the best Prime Minister ever because I'm teaching you how to be a Prime Minister. Jeez. Alright, I'm done here. We done here.